You can write certain kinds of formulas much, much faster if you use entire column references or row references. And of course, it depends upon context. In this worksheet called HR List, there are about 750 rows of information. And all we want to do in cell M2 is tabulate the total amount of the compensation. There's no other data in column K except the text in K1 and then numbers after numbers all the way down to nearly row 750. We might add more records eventually. We might take some out. We can easily write a formula here that doesn't refer to the exact cell addresses, but the entire column. And we can start with AutoSum. Remember, if you are using it from the ribbon, you'll find it on the right side of the Home tab or the left side of the Formulas tab. If you prefer a keystroke shortcut, it's Alt equal. No matter which of the three choices you use, here's what you will see in this context. Excel makes a bad guess. We really want to add up the data in column K. But rather than highlighting all the cells or typing in addresses, we'll simply click column K. K:K means the entire column. We're done. Enter. We've got our total here. A quick verification, by the way, click column K. We should see this in the status bar at the bottom of the screen. There's that same number at the bottom of the screen. Now, if we want to do an average, almost the same thing. We could take advantage of the drop arrow that's associated with AutoSum. If you use the drop arrow, you'll see average. You could approach it this way. Average, we don't want to average that cell, but it's column K. Click it, and we're done. Enter. Average job rating, same idea. If you start to type a function, equal, for example, average, A, as soon as you get to the V, you will see it in your list below. You can certainly click and tab it into place. That makes it a little faster at times. Here we're going to click column J and enter. And similarly, we also see here some totals we need to get to by way of a different function, COUNTIF. We want to tabulate how many of the entries in column F are full-time. And so the function COUNTIF allows us to tabulate the data from column F. And once again, we're not going to be typing in F2 colon F750 or anything like that. We'll just click column F, comma, and if we didn't have full-time in a nearby cell, we would type a double quote full space time, double quote, but since it's to the right, let's just click there. And instead of pressing enter, we'll just press Control Enter so the active cell doesn't move. We can double click the lower right-hand corner, and in each case here, we get answers based on the information from column N. So the number of half-time, hourly, and contract people. And similarly, we could do the same kind of thing here using SUMIF equal SUMIF to pull up the salaries. SUMIF is very similar to COUNTIF. Some of you may be familiar with it. We're looking in column F, comma, to see the full-time people, comma, and when we find them, we're going to get the compensation amounts out of column K. We'll click column K. All done here. Complete that and double-click. And if it's not formatted, we could certainly use the ribbon or possibly just press Control-Shift exclamation point. That's a quick way to get to number format. So different techniques here for using column references. Now, how about row references? They're probably a lot less likely for most people most of the time, but on the next worksheet called City Sales, we might want to come up with a total for the eastern cities. Now, New York and Boston are the eastern cities, but they're not adjacent to each other in this list here. So let's add up the two simply by pressing Alt equal to begin AutoSum. And then ignoring what Excel is expecting us to do, we'll click row 3 for Boston, comma, and then row 13. And look at the notation, 3:3, comma, 13:13. Let's add up just the data from those two rows. There's no other data to the right in these worksheets, so this will work. Now, a quick verification of this, we can click row 3, and with the Control key, click row 13. We should be seeing the same total in our lower right-hand corner in the status bar, 1636269. That's exactly what we're seeing in cell B16. One more of these, Midwest total here, Chicago and Cincinnati. They are adjacent to one another. That'll be slightly easier. We'll press Alt equal and then simply drag across the row numbers 6 and 7. So 6:7 means the row numbers 6 and 7. And here too, an answer very similar to the other one. And we could drag across rows 6 and 7 and see that same total as a verification, a cross verification, the total 1630611, exactly what we're seeing in cell B17. So using entire row references, although less common than column references, make good sense in this particular worksheet. And those early examples you see in list type calculations are going to work very efficiently as we did here, various column references. Simply click the column letter. They work very efficiently. It speeds up the creation of many different kinds of formulas.